There was a time when 15K in a month sounded unobtainable, like crazy pants, okay? Um, but then it became the minimum. 15K a month became my minimum. I started off like all folks should, doing things organically, doing the legwork, basically shaking the hands like a politician. And then I put that bad boy on autopilot. So, what I'm going to be speaking through today is exactly what I did. I am talking about the inside scoop into what I did to make the first 15K and then what I did to actually make it run on repeat. If you guys have any questions, if you want more clarification, please drop it in the comments. I am opening up. I am being super vulnerable here and opening up everything so that you can understand how much effort it takes, and you can see if this is something that you want to do as well. And I hope you do, because we all deserve to make a good amount of money, make a good living off of our passion, off of our purpose. Y'all hear me say this a lot. It is my belief that your purpose is meant to take care of you. Okay, so let it. But we gotta do some take some action on our end in order for us to be successful. So this is a story about how I made 15K in my first launch. All right. So my first, and the launch that I'm talking about isn't actually the very first launch that I did in my business. It's the one that was structured in a way that I teach. It was for a coaching offer in the way that I teach others to make coaching offers. So this was the first profitable launch. So let me be clear. This was the first profitable launch. I was making about 1 to 2K the year prior to this launch, 1 to 2K a month. And then before that, I probably was losing money in my business. And I was doing this for like 5 or 6 years. It was a while, but I did it because I loved it. I was very passionate about what I did, and what I was really good at. So this is the very first thing that I did. I created a community. Now, y'all probably hear me talk about creating a community a lot, and you're like, oh, okay, I know what that is. You're thinking too hard. This is like my sis, the retreat maven over on Instagram, Catherine, always talks about how, like, sis, you going too deep. Come on back. So what I was really doing, it wasn't, I need to make this Facebook group, or I need to get on Mighty Networks or whatever. I promise you it wasn't that deep. My very first community that I created was on GroupMe. GroupMe. Anybody use GroupMe? You know what? No shade on GroupMe, but it's 2024. Let's do better. All right. But I use GroupMe. I use GroupMe to build a community of folks who wanted to go after the same goal. So back then when I first started, I was a fitness coach. I'm still a fitness coach, but that was my first coaching business, was a fitness coaching business. And we came together with one mind. Let's lose this weight. And it was, yes, GroupMe, sis. Y'all, don't judge me, okay? But I had a vision. I just didn't know the software that could hold up my vision, okay? So I created a community on GroupMe. That's where it first started. Then we moved over to Facebook groups. But not even the way that Facebook groups are now. Like, this was when Facebook groups very first began. All those bells and whistles didn't exist. So we had to really, you ever heard of the app Meetup? It was like a meetup group. And we just supported each other. We posted our workouts. We shared tips and tricks, like the things we learned along the way. It was not that serious. Nowadays with social media marketing, we would get too involved in the strategy and the thing to make things work. But what if we are just out there just supporting each other and helping each other reach their goal. And yes, this group was free. What cost money was the events, the challenges. So I was collecting money. Now, granted, a lot of it was going out because I didn't understand how to monetize my value, but I would collect money for those events. And then I would give a lot of money away in challenge prizes and all this other stuff. Fitness coaches out there probably know exactly what I'm talking about. We do it all the time. We run into this all the time. I've learned better over the years, but that's how I started. So fast forward. Okay, so I'm just telling y'all, the 15K launch was my first launch of a properly formatted coaching business, but it wasn't the first time that I ever launched a coaching program. But this time, what I did, so I opened up another community. I created a brand new one. Don't always suggest this, like I hear a lot of people ask, well, I'm moving into something different. Should I create a new Instagram account? I'm not going to tell you no, but if you have people inside of your community that want what you're creating, don't ostracize them. Don't make them have to do more work in order to get into that new community. That's my suggestion. I've done it both ways. Hit me up if you have that question yourself. So I created a new community, and this was Catch Flights and Fitness. So those of y'all that know about Catch Flights and Fitness is what I'm talking about. So when I first created Catch Flights and Fitness, I created a new community, and I created it on Facebook. So this is the way Facebook is now. By this time, like, they had all these bells and whistles. So I was able to set it up to be monetized so that when people came into my community, they were basically coming into a firewall to have a conversation with me and book calls. If you're like, Stephanie, what are you talking about? What are you talking about firewall? So in the description of this YouTube video, I have a link. It's thevipcoaches.com/FB. On that link, I have a training that goes through how to monetize your Facebook group and then how to run it on autopilot. So I'm not going to go into that in detail. Maybe I'll create another video for that, but I already created a video. So let me stop doing more work for myself. So I created a community. That was the first step. And then I monetized that community. I set it up with monetization strategies. I provided value in that group every single week. Now, mind y'all, I was doing a lot back then. I was working as a special agent for Homeland Security investigations in what I call a 24/7 job. No lie. It was not no 9 to 5. I know what y'all say about your jobs. It was not a 9 to 5. They gave us a laptop to go home with. We had a take-home car. If I remember being at a day party trying to back it up on the dance floor, having a good old time on a Saturday afternoon, being called to come in. I'm like, yo, I just had like drinks. I can't come in. They were like, get sober and come in. And I'm like, all right. That's the type of job that I had. So I couldn't actually be the typical fitness coach who's in a gym. You would hate me. I wouldn't be the best trainer for you. I would be calling you on the way to the gym like, I gotta go. So number one, let me backtrack because y'all see I'm actually speaking without notes today. So bear with me. But I know what I want to say. I want to give you everything. So that's why I'm kind of going all over the place. But help me out, y'all. So you started off with a community, but what happens in that community? I was giving value every single week. I jumped on a live just like I'm doing here, and I just shared my tips, my tricks, my strategies for how I reached the goal that the community wanted to reach. And in Catch Flights and Fitness, they saw me as an avid traveler. I was traveling a lot, and I was losing weight. And so I just shared with them what I was doing, how I was able to do it so successfully. And then I invited them to join me on that journey. So I created a challenge. So if anybody's heard of my paid challenge launches, this is what I did my very first organic launch. I created a paid challenge. Now, this challenge was 21 days. Yours does not have to be 21 days. The idea is to be able to showcase your methodology, your skills. Like, what is your framework that you're taking folks in? If y'all don't notice this, I'm giving you the gut. This is literally, I'm giving you guys the gut. So I hope y'all are ready for it. And I know this was a real impromptu, but I hope you guys are able to take it in. So I gave them my framework, basically, and I walked them through. And back with Catch Flights and Fitness, my framework was, it wasn't about the workout plan, the meal plan. It was really about your emotional body weight. Because if you've ever been on a fitness journey, you know you have easy access to workouts. You got easy access to meal plans. That's the easy part. But why are we not disciplined to stay the course? I talked about that a lot inside of my community, about why your emotional body is holding you back from your physical body's weight loss. And I hampered on to what the real issue is, while attaching it to what they want. So if y'all ever hear me talk about the cookie and the carrot, right? I talked about the cookie, but I wanted them to understand I have the carrot. I have the solution. So I, every week, went live for 15, 20 minutes. Didn't matter where I was. This is why I love online coaching businesses. I was traveling all the time back then too. If you were in my Catch Flights and Fitness community, you probably saw me go live from Tulum, Puerto Rico, Denver, Chicago, DC. Like, I was all over the place. And I loved it. So I just jumped on live and gave value. At the end of each live, what did I say? Hit me up if you want that carrot. If you want the solution, if you want to see if you want to be a part of your solution and lock arms with me, right? But I will tell you that training, the Facebook training, how to monetize your Facebook group, that was really how I made my money. When they came through the group, within 15 minutes of them joining the group, if I was able to start a conversation with them, they became a client. Like, they just moved through that what I call it, a prospect to client flow. So make sure to watch that training so you can get that. So once I launched the Facebook group and used that to launch the Facebook group, monetize the Facebook group, right? And for those that are out there that are like, oh my gosh, you talk about Facebook groups again. Sis, I don't want to. You don't have to. Back then, I really don't know if we had all the things that we have now. So communities back then, it was like Facebook groups, right? That's why you hear so much about Facebook groups, because they were the first to do it. But what happens when people get frustrated with things? They find different ways of, being successful. So now you can do the same thing with Zoom, have a Zoom party, right? Like, you can create community in person. You can create community. I know someone, I just talked about Catherine, the retreat baby. She has a community on Mighty Networks. Like, I have a community, a paid community in my CRM, the Coach Resort. You can do it wherever. So I'm going to tell you right now, please pass me with the BS that you don't want to be a part of Facebook and that's why you can't have a community. Move, because you're not serious about this stuff. All right. So that literally created a community, monetized that community with the strategies that I share with you in that training, the VIPcoaches.com/FB, the VIPcoaches.com/FB. That training shows you how to monetize your community. Then I gave value consistently every single week. Just showed up 15, 20 minutes in there and pumped value into the community. And continuously used I had the DM script on how I had conversations with my community members on that training. I keep forgetting how boss that training is. I love it. And then I book calls and move them into the coaching program consistently. 15K first month. But I will admit, y'all heard me talk about earlier how I had a 24/7 job. Well, I also, because I did very well in building out my community and launching my coaching program, my business coach at the time asked me to be a business coach in her business coaching mastermind. So I became a business coach at the same time. So I was a Catch Flights and Fitness CEO, a business coach for another person's mastermind, and a special agent for Homeland Security investigations. And I was an avid traveler. I traveled a lot. I had a boyfriend who lived in a different city or a different state. So I was really busy. I didn't have a lot of spare time, right? So this wasn't going to work. I wasn't going to be able to keep up, bringing people into my community. Because that's the part that I missed. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. This is why I have notes, y'all. This is exactly why I had notes. But y'all bear with me. I bet y'all were like, wait a minute, Steph. How did the people get to the community? I got you. Come with me. It's gonna tie into the automation I'm gonna share with you in just a second. So how I got people into the community, it was just talked about it all the time. I love Catch Flights and Fitness. Love it. I'm surprised I'm not wearing the shirt now. But I love Catch Flights and Fitness, so it was easy for me to tell people about it all the time. And I'd be like, yo, we got a community. Oh, we got a challenge coming up. Or, hey, you want to join this? And I constantly was talking about it. I talked about it in person. I talked about it on the interwebs. I told people, met new people on the internet all the time, networking groups, or just in other people's Facebook groups. I networked my behind off and shared it. Now, like I mentioned, I was very busy. I was doing a lot of different things. So I knew that wasn't going to be sustainable. But it got me my first 15K. So I was like, all right, that works. Let's see if we can automate this. Now, back then, I didn't know that's what I was doing. I was just trying to find ways to not be in the front end of my business so much. So the first thing that I did wasn't even ads, y'all. I bet y'all thought I was going to say that. I bet you was like, oh, she ran ads. No, it was software. So the first thing that I did was I got a software that basically combed different communities, different Facebook groups for me, and reached out to people and gave them value. So I would maybe post, let's say I post, hey, who wants a free training on creating space for your fitness goals? And then I used the software to send it to them. Or there was also another piece of the software that allowed me to friend people and then send them a message just to connect. Now, I'm a big believer that social media was originally created to connect people. It wasn't created for business owners. It really wasn't. I know. I use it that way. But it was there to connect. So when I tapped into the original reason people are on Facebook is to connect with others, it never was like salesy. It never was like icky. Now, I'm not saying to do all the spamming that happened back then where you're just like, hey, join my group. No, you had to actually have a conversation with them. So that's why it was like, it was a lot of effort on the front end of my marketing to get people into my community. Y'all, I know. Take a break. Now, this probably should be a second video, but I'm not going to leave y'all hanging because one of the important things about what I do is I want you to be able to make your launches sustainable. It is one of the biggest frustrations that I have for business coaches when they teach you how to get it out there, how to get your business out there, how to get clients. But what you have to do to get your first, 2 to 5 clients is so much that energy very rarely is sustainable, especially once you're coaching. You want to give all that energy to your clients. You don't want to spend all of your time on the marketing and bringing people in, right? So what I did, I didn't, honestly, because of the way my coaching program was set up, I still spent more time in the marketing than in coaching my clients. So my solution was to move my time out of the marketing so that I could free up some mind space for my job, for the other business that I was helping to grow, for my travel, so that I can actually like have fun on my trips, so that I could have fun on my weekends, right? So I can relax at nighttime. That was really what I was doing it for, and not jeopardize the flow of clients into my business. So like I just told you, I started off with the software. I used software before I ever thought of ads. Someone put me on, was like, Steph, you not running ads? Why you not running ads? I was like, girl, I don't know how to run ads. So I learned how to run ads. I actually had a great opportunity to learn from a business coach how to run ads to a Facebook community, like exactly what I needed. And so I did that, and girl, when I ran ads that very first time, I spent $400. $400. I was like, I ain't putting a lot of money on this. I had that program at the time was $2,500. I had a $2,500 program, and I was like, you can have this $400. I spent $400, but I made $15,000 from that $400. I can't imagine if I would have given that whole $2,500, because I truly believe if you do this correctly, if you really want to like take off, grow your business using your first client. So get that first client. Bet. I'm about to put y'all on game. Okay, listen. I'm about to put y'all on game. I didn't even do this. I wish I did. I can't imagine what life would have been like back then if I did this. But take that first client payment. Let's say if it's a payment plan, okay, fine. But if it's a paid in full, which if you're not getting paid in full, hit me up. I got a solution for you. I got a solution for you, because I'm not gonna get into it here. Take that money and put it on your automation. Put that on an ad. I'm sorry, because I want to be specific. Because like I said, there's a bunch of different types of automation, but you put that on an ad and let that thing come back to you, right? Back then they made us think we had to pay all that money for ads. I'm going to tell you, I did $400. I wish I put the whole $2,500. I wish I did. I didn't need to, obviously, right? The $400 made me $15,000, and I'm forever grateful because it gave me the confidence to keep going. But I can't imagine if I would have doubled down over and over again. So I'm going to close out by saying I don't see any questions here, but if y'all have any later, just drop them in. I'm going to load this replay on the YouTube channel, so make sure you're following me there. If you aren't leveraging automation to bring prospects into your energy so that you can meet them, whether that's in a community, at a webinar, during a challenge, whatever it is, you are going to burn yourself out, sis. I don't believe it's sustainable to have a business, have a coaching program without automating your client attraction system. Whether it's with ads, software, right, how I initially did it, or teams. You have to. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. What am I talking about? But I want to see you make sustainable income. So that what I just described was how I made $15K my first launch, building out my community, networking my ass off, okay? I did that organic way perfectly, all right? I didn't even post every day or every other day. I think I posted like once a week, and y'all saw me go live once a week. It just wasn't sustainable. But once you have coaching clients, I need you to leverage that automation. I have so many different ways for you to do this. I already shared with you the training for automating your client attraction system using communities at thevipcoaches.com/FB. You can also, if you're like, Steph, there is no way I can do this by myself, I have a community. You hop in $97 a month and we do it together. We do it together. From organic launches to automated launches, we do it together. Either way, I want to see you win. But I really enjoyed this conversation with you. I'm glad I was able to do it live, and I cannot wait to see what you create. Bye for now.